Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys, after what was a truly horrific Barça performance against Real Madrid. To lose by 4-1 is not acceptable in any way, shape or form, so naturally, after a game like that, there has to be fallout. If there isn't, I'd be even more concerned. There simply has to be some sort of action after that, and today we're going to be talking about Xavi's position as the coach of Barça. Should we be talking about the word sacked right now? And we're also going to be talking too about Deco's words after the game and the current stance of Joan Laporta and what all of this means for Barça. It is coming up for you today. More brutal honesty. Let's do it. Because let's first of all kick off with Xavi's own reaction after the game last night. How did he feel after losing to Real Madrid? And in that way, it wasn't just about a 4-1. It could have been more, by the way. It genuinely could have been more. But it was about the way that we played again. We did not compete for a single moment in that game. And that cannot happen in a Clasico. Xavi said there, it is a moment to say sorry to the supporters and accept the criticism that comes our way. He said, we were at our worst today in the worst scenario possible. It's a trophy lost. We were never comfortable. We did not compete. So Xavi there apologising to Barca fans for what we had to endure during those 90 minutes. He said, but there is still confidence in me from the club. He said that's clear. And he said there are reasons to believe. He said last season we won 2 trophies with me as the coach. It wasn't all that long ago. He said today was tough and I apologise to the fans. But there are arguments in our favour. So we're already now looking to last season for positives. We're already over halfway through this season, but we can't look at anything positive this campaign. We are still having to look back for good times, for positive moments at this club. Already, that's concerning. Xavi said last season there were reasons to say we were entering a new era, but now we have to put up with the criticism. We have to be self-critical and reset, which is what we need to fight for La Liga, for the Champions League and for the Copa del Rey. He said, I believe in this project, myself and the players, and that we can turn this situation around. So Xavi remains very confident. He's focusing there on La Liga, on the Champions League, on the Copa del Rey. But realistically, what I want to ask him is, what's going to change? Because every time we lose, we always talk about being self-critical. We always talk about focusing on the next game, on the next competition. But the problem is, if you go into those games and just do the same thing, the same result will apply. You cannot do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. And that's all we do. We don't see any change. We don't see anything. And that is why last night's game, that is why last night's result against Real, it was of no surprise to anyone. Because, okay, let me ask you guys a very simple question, because we can honestly talk here about the players maybe that we don't have in the squad, that we need to sign. You know, there's areas of this team that need improvement. We all know that we got our restrictions in the transfer market, and we also know already we've suffered many injuries. It's not ideal. I'm not saying the circumstances for Xavi, they're perfect, but realistically, for what coach in the world is everything perfect for? Every single coach at a top club mainly has to overcome obstacles. You have to overcome difficulties in the job, and it's your responsibility to get the best out of what you have. That is your number one priority as a coach. Use what you have, get the absolute maximum level from it. And can I ask you right now, guys, has any player this season, any Barcelona player, improved this campaign? Do you feel as though the level has increased from anyone? I don't see it. I do not see one single player in this team right now who's improving, who's getting better, who is showing something above their level. And that's a massive worry, because individually and collectively, we're getting worse. We're not just not getting better. We're not just staying at the same level. We are actively regressing as a team. And that's a massive concern, especially in our situation, whereby we can't just go out and buy everybody that we need. We can't go out and spend money year upon year upon year. There comes a point where we have to extract the best level from the players that we have. We must drag every last ounce of ability out of them. And we're not even close to doing that right now. And we have, by the way, top quality players. And it's even more worrying because when Xavi first arrived as the coach, he did improve players. You look at the squad that we had then, you look at the squad that we had now, it's night and day. The players that Xavi had when he first arrived, they were a shadow of what we have now, and yet he did improve them. He was able to raise their level. He was able to play there above what we had. And that's when we were seeing real and genuine progress. But what's happened now? What on earth is going on now? We don't even run anymore. We don't even see effort out there from the team. We don't even press the ball. And these are the basics. These are literally the bare minimum standard requirements that Xavi himself wanted to bring back to this club. They're long gone now. It is unrecognisable as a Xavi team. And I honestly don't know how this gets turned around now, guys. I don't understand here what's going to change, what's going to give to suddenly turn around our fortunes, because the other incredibly concerning thing, the other question that I would have to ask you, does it look to you like those players are playing for Xavi? Does it honestly look as though he's still got the backing of the dressing room? They're still going out there and giving every last effort for their coach? You look at yesterday's game against Real Madrid, you'd have to argue they're not. You'd have to argue that actually they've thrown the towel in. That was how it looked yesterday. They gave up out there. They pretty much said, you know what, we've lost this game, maybe even before it began. And that is a big problem. At Barcelona, when you lose the dressing room, when the players there are not responding to anything you're asking of them, you've got a massive, massive issue on your hands. Because the way I see it right now, guys, is actually maybe the players feel similar to us as fans, whereby they definitely respect Xavi. There's no two ways about that, and you would struggle to find a Barcelona fan that doesn't respect Xavi for who he is, for what he's done for the club, for what he's done for the game of football. We all respect him, but do the players understand him? Do they actually understand what he's asking of them? Do they know what the game plan is? Do they feel as though there even is a game plan? And I think they are questioning him right now. They are questioning what exactly they're being asked to do, because on the pitch, it looks like an absolute mess. It looks as though everything is just left down to chance. And yet, what's the reaction from inside of the club there? What are the consequences maybe that are going to come the way of the coach, of the players, after such an embarrassing defeat like that to our biggest rivals? Well, immediately after the game, not even 10 minutes pretty much after that final whistle, Deco comes out and he says openly, the questions about Xavi, they make no sense. The coach continues to have everyone's trust. It's a defeat that does not change anything in that aspect. And I could not believe those words there. To lose 4-1 against Real Madrid and immediately come out and say, look, this doesn't change anything. What kind of message is that sending out? Honestly there, what are you saying that for? So soon after the game, and I'd ask another question, do you think you would have heard that from Florentino Perez? They're talking about a Real Madrid coach. Should that have happened to them? He wouldn't have assured anyone. Real Madrid would not allow anybody to be safe and comfortable. And yet at Barca, what we're hearing right now is that Laporta, he is still firmly backing Xavi. His job is in no threat at all right now. And it is as though nothing's changed. And it is as though for something like that, the result like that, the performances that we've seen, there's no consequences whatsoever. And let me just remind you that when Laporta came back as president, one of the main things that he said, losing will have consequences. If the results aren't there, if the performances aren't there, there will be consequences. Where are they? Because I worry right now that with Xavi, like I say, somebody that we respect, an icon, a legend, obviously the situation is tricky, but we are starting to accept these kinds of defeats. We are starting to say, okay, we've been woeful, we haven't performed well as a team all season long, but it's okay, because we want to keep Xavi. We want to keep going on this path. This is the project. This is the way. This is the direction. We're fourth in the league. We scraped through an easy Champions League group. We've had back-to-back Clasico defeats. We got smashed by Real Madrid last night by 4-1. I believe any other Barcelona coach would be under so much pressure right now. And I actually believe, to be honest, that most other coaches in this situation, they would have already been sacked. That is the situation that we find ourselves in, and I don't think we can fall into the trap here of accepting it, allowing everybody at the club to be comfortable, to be safe in their role, to be warm and cosy, because you know what? That same attitude, that filters down to the players. If the coach is allowed to be in his position, no matter what, without any pressure on him, that's the way the players feel too. You look at that performance yesterday, they are comfortable, everything is easy for them, we are not working hard, we are not working as a team, and right now inside the club, we are entering dangerous territory. And I really don't know, guys, honestly, where we go from here right now, because maybe, I don't know, the feeling within the club might be, what could they actually do right now? There's not really somebody out there that could come in mid-season into this situation and succeed as a Barcelona coach. Maybe they're simply biding their time until the end of the season. But what I would say is right now, what happens if Barca don't really get any better? What happens if actually things get worse as the weeks go on? What if we drop out the top four? What if then we're in danger of losing all of that vital Champions League revenue? What if we crash out of the Champions League against Napoli? What happens then? Are we still just going to say, you know what, nobody's in danger, everybody's safe, let's just wait until the end of the season, wait and wait and wait? But I think whatever happens, come the end of this campaign, we've got to sit down, we've got to have some serious conversations at this club about the direction, about Xavi, because look, he's taken us so far. There's no denying the work that he did last season, there's no denying the way that he came in, and he did turn around this club, and he will always have the credit for that. But the main question now is he the man to take us to that next level? Because there would be no harm in saying, you know what, he might have reached his ceiling. This might be all that you could get out of a Xavi team, and it might be time for a change. And it doesn't have to be a bad one. It doesn't have to be there a really bad disconnect between the fans, between Xavi, between the club. It could be a simple parting of the ways, leaving on good terms. But is Xavi the man to take us on? Is he the man for the next level? For the absolute top level at this young stage, let's not forget, in his coaching career? Do let me know, guys, in the comments down below today, what should the future of Barca hold? Should it include Xavi at the helm? Do you feel as though he should continue until the end of the season? Do you feel as though he should continue beyond the end of the season as well? Let me know that down below. Honest thoughts today, brutal honesty is required, because that's the only way that we will improve. I will see all of you guys soon. Thank you indeed for tuning in here, and thank you for listening through another rant on the channel. I don't like doing this, I really don't, but we're all frustrated, and we all saw this coming. I will catch you soon, guys, but until next time, as always, Vejska, El Barça.